What is good, Ninja? OG over here from PlayerEssence, and welcome to the PE Nintendo Switch and Gaming News video. Today, we've got a lot of great information for you guys, so let's go ahead and get right into it. Nintendo Switch firmware update 3.0.2 is now available. Now, the improvements included in this version 3.0.2, according to Nintendo, are Nintendo Switch Online. So online play has been added in Argentina, Brazil, Chile, Colombia, and Peru. This is currently available for free until paid online service launches sometime in 2018. Plus, there's also general system stability improvements to enhance the user's experience, like always, because whenever Nintendo drops a new update, you better know that there's going to be system stability. But it's really cool that online play has been added in all those countries. I actually didn't know that they didn't have it at that point, so that's nice. So anyone who has a Switch in those countries, you weren't able to play like Splatoon 2 or ARMS online. That would absolutely suck if that was the case, but apparently that's what's been going on here. And I did look at some of the comments, and it seems like the eShop still isn't up yet in some of those areas as far as Brazil. So let me know if any of you guys are in these countries. Do you guys have an eShop to where you can pick up titles, or do you have to buy everything physical when it comes to things? Because it seems like it's still missing some stuff here. So it just says online play, so it doesn't say anything about digital or eShop there. So I'm guessing that's right, but I don't know. So if anyone does live in those countries as far as online play being added, if you can clear things up just a little bit more for me, that would be great. But yes, we do have a brand new system update. If you have your system set to basically automatic downloads, then it should already be done. It should have already updated it. By the time you boot up your console, you'll just have to restart, and then you can start playing again. It's real quick, real simple and easy. I already updated mine before I did my live stream for Splatoon 2 yesterday, so it was pretty cool just to have that feature on there. So what do you guys think about the system update, especially if you're in those countries? And when do you think Nintendo's going to add actually some substantial features when it comes to the worldwide base of the Nintendo Switch in terms of system features or things like that outside of stability? Let me know about that in the comment section below as well. Alright, and moving on to the next article here. Travis strikes again. No More Heroes can be played with one Joy-Con. This includes sword action, and the name has been explained as well. So quite a different number of things, and we do have a lot of Travis Strikes Again, No More Heroes information for this week, because Suda has been on a tear when it comes to interviews. So the following comes from a Eurogamer interview with Suda51. Quote, "One thing that I decided back at the very beginning when we first started developing it, as far as gameplay and controls go, is that the game would be able to be played with just one Joy-Con. It's still a bit early, so we can't really comment completely on what kind of gameplay will be in the game, but one thing we can say is that like previous No More Heroes games, it will certainly be a sword action type game where the player feels good swinging that thing around." So there you go, once again, another confirmation. Like previous games, you're going to have sword action, you're going to be slashing people up. Suda has already confirmed this numerous times, but there still are some out there that think otherwise. But here you go, once again, sword action game just like the previous titles. While it certainly is a part of No More Heroes series, one of the reasons there's no number in the title and that No More Heroes comes after is because it's still the same series, but it's not a direct sequel. It's more the beginning of a new adventure, of a new series for Travis, since it is the same game world but just a different series. It will have some elements that carry over, and will also have some new elements as well as far as gameplay goes. So that's the reason why they didn't want to number it at all, just because they said, hey, we're going to do some new things with this one. Heck, it takes place inside of a video game system with indie collaborations that are basically unique games created just for them by certain indie developers, not necessarily games that correspond in the real world. So you're not going to have like a Shovel Knight world or a Shovel Knight game that you play within there. Maybe you have some design aspects or things like that, but there's going to be games uniquely created as far as for this game inside that unique game world. And then you're going to be wearing shirts as far as different indie game collaborations go. So we did explain that a little bit more in depth, and I'll probably cover that in another video just because there's a lot of stuff going on. But yeah, it's definitely not going to be something to where you kind of go into this and you're playing Shovel Knight within that game or something like that. That's definitely not happening here. But the gameplay is going to be varied. It is going to be something new as far as elements go, in addition to that classic No More Heroes experience that you are expecting, that you guys all know and love. And I think some of the things, because I've talked about this game quite a bit, but something that I probably haven't mentioned that I think will be in this game, I think that there's a high possibility that there's going to be some some high intense like HD rumble when it comes to slashing. He did kind of allude to that just a little bit as far as swinging around the sword like the previous games. And in No More Heroes 1 and in No More Heroes 2, you have that. No More Heroes 2 did have optional button controls, and I think that they're going to do that because you can play the game with just one single Joy-Con. So if you're going to play with one single Joy-Con, obviously you're going to turn it on its side and you're going to play it that way to where you can move around. Otherwise, you wouldn't have any other way to move around in the game at all with one single Joy-Con. So I do think that they're going to have those button controls, but it could be a very high intense HD rumble game, whereas where you slash someone as a corresponding HD rumble to that part. I think that games like Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle do a great job with HD rumble. You can really feel different rumbling as far as when you press a button, even when you get popped over the head by an enemy or something like that. It feels great, to be honest. So I think they can really make a nice HD rumble game along with the normal gameplay that you know and love with No More Heroes, even if they're using standard button controls. But it'll be interesting to see if they actually incorporate motion controls in this game, because if you look at what No More Heroes 1 and No More Heroes 2 had to work with when it comes to motion controls, that was pretty low tech compared to what the Nintendo Switch can do with the Joy-Con controllers. So I'm going to bank we're going to get some type of motion control as well. But once again, we don't have any real confirmation 100% or anything like that, so we're going to have to wait on that one. But I also want to see new elements too. I think some of the new stuff that he said as far as what's going to be in the game, just the prospect of having something new is really good. No More Heroes 2 is very predictable when it comes to the gameplay and all that. All they did was really take like what worked in No More Heroes 1, and then they removed what didn't work, which was the open world, and they said, okay, let's add some nice retro games to them, and then let's add a bunch more weapons that we can have it to where you can change weapons anytime you want. So just made it a more functional version of this first game. So I'm kind of glad that they're going with what works, which is the gameplay, but then taking things with a whole new notch with the story and kind of how you're going through progression. That's going to be completely different. So I'm interested to see how they handle the game world when it comes to upgrading, collecting different swords or weapons. How they handle that is really going to tell how the direction of that series as far as Travis Strikes Again, No More Heroes can go. So let me know what you guys think about all this information that we went over, in addition to what gameplay elements would you like to see added into this game as far as new stuff that they haven't done in previous No More Heroes games. Alright, and moving on to the last article here. Fire Emblem Warriors. We've got brand new details on the class changes, skill system, emblem shop, and the new history mode. So we've got a nice info dump. So fresh details about Fire Emblem Warriors have leaked out of Famitsu. We're able to learn about certain features and modes, like being able to change classes, a new skill system, an emblem shop, plus a brand new history mode. Here is the full roundup of information. Class changes are confirmed. This can be done by using a Master Seal item. Shion and Rowan and Liana can promote from Lord to Master Lord. Game will have a skills system, can equip up to 3 skills. Skills can be unlocked by bonding with other characters. Emblem shop system in the game. This apparently involves using materials and permanent stat boosts. History mode is separate from story mode. It retells the original story of each Fire Emblem game featured. In history mode, move characters on a 2D grid like the original strategy RPG. When an ally adjacent to enemy, battle will trigger. Famitsu shows that Valadar will appear as an enemy NPC. Scenes in history mode will also be fully voiced. One history mode map shown in Famitsu is from Shadow Dragon. Famitsu also revealed earlier that Mailcorn and Sakura, I also reported on that, are in Fire Emblem Warriors. Plus there should be new information or maybe even a trailer and stuff this week or within the next coming week, since the game is launching at the end of the month, September 28th in Japan. We're going to be getting it as far as North America and Europe on October 20th. So I do want to talk about a number of these things because this is absolutely fantastic. So the Legend of Zelda, as far as not Legend of Zelda, but Hyrule Warriors had adventure mode, which is kind of like the classic 2D map, and then you go on there, you do certain things on that map. A lot of great content outside of the main mode. Well, this is kind of, I think, their version of that, because you have this history mode where it's going to be like the original strategy RPG. You're going to move on a 2D grid, and you're going to be able to relive the moment. So in my opinion, that actually one-ups the whole adventure mode that was in Hyrule Warriors, because you're reliving the actual moments from these games, whether it's Shadow Dragon, Fire Emblem Fates, or Awakening. And I think that is absolutely brilliant that they added that in there. I think that's going to draw in a lot more Fire Emblem fans that you didn't draw in before, just based on the vanilla game that you have with the Musou series. So I'm really liking that. I also like the fact that the history mode is separate from the story mode. I like how they didn't intertwine them, so it didn't feel forced on. It's a completely separate mode. Plus, they already have the Coliseum mode where you kind of go through the gauntlet of different boss battles when it comes to all the different characters in the game. Now, the skills and the emblem shop, all that stuff just adds a lot more depth to this game that Hyrule Warriors didn't have and that we've seen in some of the other Musou-style games. So I'm really liking the fact that they put that emblem shop in there. That's going to feel more accommodating once again to Fire Emblem fans. I like the fact that there's class changes, which I think that we already knew about, but we are getting some more details as far as who can promote to what. The Master Seal, that's a classic item in Fire Emblem Awakening. You can use that to level up, or you can use that to change class into something a lot more powerful, resets your level, but then you can earn different skills. I like the fact that bonding also has skill slots to where the more you fight with someone, the more that they can bond and learn different ones. Maybe they can share different skills. Once again, Fire Emblem, big emphasis on skills. That's why you change classes to learn new skills, and then you equip the best loadout that you can have for the 5 slots as far as Fire Emblem Awakening goes. So once again, very good that they're adding in all these different elements on here. I love the history mode. The history mode is going to be something that I tried 100%. It's going to be fully voiced, so you know that they're putting time and effort into this. This is definitely not just a rushed thing that they're doing here. There is a lot of great features when it comes to Fire Emblem Warriors, more than Hyrule Warriors easily, especially with all the different stuff that they're talking about. You have the Coliseum, story, and now history mode. In addition to that, you can choose between 1080p 30 frames per second or 720p 60 frames per second. It seems we don't know if there's going to be some dynamic scalers in there, but either way, the option just to play this game at 60 frames per second is something that people really wanted on the Wii U, but you couldn't really get it, and now we're getting it here on the Nintendo Switch with Fire Emblem Warriors. So I'm super hyped about this game. All this information just even makes it better for me, so I can't wait to play this game. Hopefully, no, there won't be. As far as the English dub, there will not be an English dub in that Japanese version, but if there is, you guys know I'll be playing it early, and if not, that's okay. We'll be playing it in October, on October 20th to be exact. So let me know what you guys think about all these additions to Fire Emblem Warriors, in addition to all the different topics that we discussed in this video. I would love to hear you guys' thoughts. Alright, Ninja, that wraps it up for this video here. Go ahead and check out the links in the description below. We've got Facebook, we've got Twitter. Go ahead and give us a like and a follow on our social media. Really helps us spread the content of PlayerEssence across the interwebs, in addition to YouTube. Also, make sure you check out our Patreon page. Pledge any tier and be entered to win some awesome prizes each month. In addition to that, we have Discord voice chat and $10 prize eShop tournaments for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, Splatoon 2, and more. So support PE Live and PE Arena right here on PlayerEssence. So make sure you hit that like button if you did like this video. Lets me know you guys want more content like this going forward in the future. And subscribe to PlayerEssence for the latest news, reviews, discussions, and more. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you, Ninja, for the next video. Peace.